There has been a sense that because the state was slightly distracted by the possibilities of herd immunity. I know you said there was never a policy to me before, earlier on in this process, that we were slightly behind the curve. And you'll have seen President Trump's comments about this. He said, a lot of people are saying, just write it out, that's us, that's Britain. We're looking at that in the UK, and all of a sudden they went hard the other way because they started seeing things that weren't good. They got themselves in a little bit of a problem. It's a concept. If you don't mind death, it would have been a catastrophic one.
Yeah, it's all rubbish.
It's rubbish.
I mean, it's been rubbish from start to finish. But hold on, just to explain, I've heard this debate in public. I've heard this debate amongst commentators and in the media. And frankly, Andrew, my job is to save lives and to tackle this virus the very best we can. We've had a clear strategy all the way through, which we published, and that has been our strategy. And when people write articles about all of this, I just want them to know that they're talking nonsense. What has been absolutely clear in our response, our strategy, is to bend the curve down, to make sure the curve is always below NHS capacity, and to make sure we can get through this as well as possible and as quickly as possible.
So the reason that's very, very clear, and the reason I think this has not completely gone away is that we all can read quotes by people like Sir Patrick Vallance, your chief scientific advisor, who said on the 13th of March, our aim is to reduce the peak, not suppress it completely, also because the vast majority of people get a mild illness to build up some kind of herd immunity. He is your chief scientific advisor, and maybe that's why people got confused.
Well, that's talking about a scientific concept as opposed to talking about the goal and the strategy of the government. So, you can ask me this question 100 times, and when no doubt people look at how this has been handled in times in the future when we need to learn all of the lessons that we possibly can. People will no doubt have this debate, but frankly, now it's a distraction, because all that matters is saving lives by people following the rules, so that we can bend the curve down, get a grip on the spread of the virus, protect the NHS, and save lives, and at the same time build up the NHS capacity so that the NHS is always there for you when you need.